Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the absolute, unhinged brilliance of the wildly popular animated YouTube channel, Not Your Type. Now, if you're a fan, you already know their content feels like an absolute fever dream. But here's the thing. Beneath all that rapid-fire animation and those completely insane plot lines, there is actually a highly calculated, incredibly engaging storytelling structure. So our goal today is to deconstruct this chaotic, hyper-energetic content and figure out exactly how they engineer such viral, captivating material. Right off the bat, let me just hit you with this totally out of context quote from one of their videos, just to set the tone for the kind of universe we're stepping into here. The narrator, totally deadpan, just calmly explains, "We realized we cut down a $100 million NASA telescope." Keep in mind, this isn't some crazy sci-fi movie pitch. This is from a video that supposedly started out being about normal, everyday childhood memories. And the absurdity doesn't just stop there. Get a load of this next quote. "My grandmother got abs from kicks in the womb." The creator takes a completely normal observation, like, hey, people back in the day had huge families, and just escalates it to the point where his grandmother is rocking a six-pack from internal fetal kicks, and that doctors literally had to install a zipper in her stomach because of all the operations. It's rapid fire, it's highly specific, and it's just so ridiculous. So you gotta wonder, is all of this just random nonsense they're throwing at a wall to see what sticks? Or is there a highly calculated comedic formula at play here? Well, when you really analyze the source material, you realize that this level of pure, engaging chaos, it doesn't happen by accident. There's a very distinct method to the madness that perfectly captures and holds your attention. Okay, let's dive into this first core pillar, weaponizing childhood nostalgia. The creator knows they need to hook us with something we all get, right? So they start with a really grounded premise. But then, bam, the absurd twist. For example, fighting with your sibling after watching WWE, they claim that only happens because your parents have zero inheritance to leave you to fight over. Or take a completely normal fear of boarding school. Instead of missing his parents, the creator was terrified because he absolutely misinterpreted that emotional Bollywood film, Tar Zameen Par. In his mind, the main kid, Ishan, wasn't struggling. He was a feral psycho with giant teeth biting through wires. And Amir Khan, he was essentially a Joker-like villain trying to catch him. It takes a nostalgic, grounded memory and completely shatters reality. Which brings us to the next major mechanic, the art of absurd escalation. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how their comedic engine works. It's never just about telling a punchline. It's about taking a premise from 0 to 100 in literally seconds, refusing to let your brain take a breath. Take something super normal, like flying a kite on the roof with your buddy. Well, in the Not Your Type universe, they let out so much string that the kite flies perpendicular straight into space. Next thing you know, they're intercepting ancient alien radio signals through the kite string right before they accidentally slice straight through a $100 million NASA telescope. But wait, the escalation doesn't even stop with the telescope getting sliced. Look at the aftermath here. The multi-million-dollar tech crashes to Earth, and immediately, scientists from the rival Indian space agency, ISRO, rush in to loot the crashed equipment like neighborhood kids stealing a cut kite. And just to push the visual chaos over the edge, you've got elderly men doing hardcore parkour off rooftops just to grab the scraps. It's just layer upon layer of escalating momentum. All right, moving on, let's look at their use of meta humor and fake collabs. The channel absolutely loves breaking the fourth wall by constructing these massive, convoluted fictions about their own existence on YouTube. Just look at the manic logic of their fake collaboration with the major creator Carrie Minotti. Step 1. Our host borrows money from a local gangster named Boba to build a massive VIP set. Step 2. The master plan is to intentionally let the set burn to the ground right before the shoot. Step 3. He just waits for Carrie Minotti to show up and get violently angry about the ruined set. And then, the grand finale, Step 4. Right as Carrie is about to end his career, he's just gonna hug him, scream, "It's a prank," and farm millions of subscribers. I mean, it's a satirical masterpiece of YouTube clickbait culture. But of course, within this chaotic universe, plans never ever work out. The plot gets completely derailed by this bizarre fake cameo from Bollywood superstar Shah Rukh Khan. SRK literally calls to apologize because he was using their script as a napkin to eat onion bhajiyas. He threw it in the trash, where his son Abram found it, and they laughed so hard at it, they decided to do a movie together instead. It's a total left turn, keeping us completely off balance while adding these massive, entirely imaginary stakes to the story. Now, what's really interesting to observe is the sponsor integration masterclass they put on. Normally on YouTube, ad reads are where viewers just tap out, right? But Not Your Type integrates sponsorships so seamlessly into the plot that you don't even realize you're watching a commercial until it's way too late. Check out this timeline. The creator is telling a story about hanging out in an ashram. He sees a girl smiling at him. Smooth move. He throws a piece of paper with his number on it to her. But here comes the twist. She doesn't read it. She eats it. Why? Oh, just because she's possessed by a ghost, and she ends up eating 2 kilos of paper that day. And right at the absolute peak of this weird ghost story, the narrator just flawlessly pivots. This is why you shouldn't throw paper at random ghosts. You should just use the Happen dating app to meet people safely. It is brilliant. You stay fully retained during the ad because it's part of the joke. And they prove this is an actual repeatable formula for them. Here's a second example from that Carrie Minotti sketch. It starts with the creator just screaming at his assistant for slacking off on his phone instead of, doing manual labor to build the set. The assistant calmly explains he's actually trying to find a good location for a date. And then he seamlessly pitches the location-based features of the Happen app straight to his angry boss. The boss accepts this great pitch and immediately demands the assistant gets back to child labor. The ad is entirely wrapped inside the character dynamics and that manic energy of the scene. So the crucial point is, why does this formula actually work so well? All of this frantic energy, right? The paper-eating ghosts, the sliced NASA telescopes, the fake Shah Rukh Khan cameos, it isn't just random noise. It all serves a very specific strategic purpose. Let's break down the core pillars. First, you have nostalgic bait. By starting with something super relatable, they instantly earn your trust. Second, unpredictable escalation. By jacking up the stakes to a ridiculous degree, they prevent viewer drop-off simply through sheer surprise. You literally can't look away because you have no clue what's coming next. Third, narrative ad reads. Treating those sponsorships as punchlines rather than interruptions keeps the audience totally hooked. And finally, high-energy pacing. The breathless, fast-talking delivery perfectly matches the hyperactive visual chaos on screen. Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought. In an era where so much digital content out there feels safe, highly structured, and just predictable, is absolute, carefully manufactured chaos actually the smartest way to guarantee virality today? The massive success of Not Your Type strongly suggests that if you really want to capture a modern audience's attention, well, you might just need to cut down a NASA telescope with a kite to do it. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. I hope this breakdown gave you a whole new appreciation for the absolute brilliance hiding right behind the madness. See you next time.